Hello everyone, welcome once again to another episode from Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. As you know, I broadcast a live Elvis show on YouTube every Sunday. Each week we discuss a different Elvis related topic. This week the topic was the new Lisa Marie Presley autobiography due out this coming fall. Elvis fans called the show to give their initial reactions to the news of the book being published. I also ran a poll asking, do you think the whole truth will be published in her memoir? Or will Riley now water it down now it's her job to finish it up for publication? You will hear the results of the poll at the end of this podcast. So sit back, relax, and listen to the opinions of the callers to the show. Hi, Brent.
Oh, Steve, what a great topic, first of all. And
Thanks.
I think, of course, it's all speculation at this point, but I think one thing I could gamble on is it's not going to be an all Elvis thing. You know, a lot of times people assume that when a child of a celebrity or an artist pens a book, it's usually a tell-all about I think it's going to be a lot about her life, and they're going to flesh her out to be a three-dimensional person instead of just a character, the girl that married Michael Jackson, etc.
Oh, right. And do you think now that it's going to be a different memoir to what we would have got if she'd have still been alive?
You know what? That's very hard to say because you know what? I know that when you're doing a memoir, you have a particular style, you have a particular story you want to tell, and when you're leaving a portion of it in the hands of someone else, I don't know if Riley says, I'm going to just do it the way my mother wanted it, or if I'm going to kind of kowtow to what the publishers are hoping I put into it, because publishers, they want to go for the quick and easy buck, and they're more interested in salacious details instead of an authentic story. So I hope Riley has the cojones to really stand up. It sounds like she does, though, judging by her conduct so far.
Yeah, I mean, we have to remember that Priscilla is her grandmother. Obviously, Priscilla was Lisa Marie's mother. I just have this feeling that Lisa was a little bit a harder person, more ruthless than maybe Riley will be now.
I think so, because I think Riley she just has this kind of welcoming thing across the board, and I think the downside of it, of course, is Riley doesn't have the direct attachment to Elvis. But what I saw in that special that she put on is that she's very much in kind of carrying the positivity of Elvis throughout the legacy. So I think we're in good hands that way. And hopefully Riley just has the attitude that I'm just completing her mom's work. I'm not inserting my own kind of thoughts or consciousness into this. And I really think it's a book hopefully we all get behind, because I just think it's a great way to kind of have a final say from someone who left us way too early.
Yes, I agree. So what would you have been then in the poll? The whole truth, a watered down version of the truth, or don't know, have to wait and see?
I did the wait and see. I think it was like when I went on and started talking to you, it was at like 55%.
Yeah. Okay, we're all hedging our bets.
I'm telling you what, I think Steve, it's going to be great, and I think we all just look out for it. Maybe get out there, support it as much as we can, because I can almost ascertain with 90% authority that I believe it's going to be a real Elvis positive experience.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been excited about a book about Elvis. Anyway, this much.
Yeah, and thank you again for just doing everything and all you do, Steve. And I look forward to talking to you soon, my friend.
Thanks a lot for calling in, Brent. Take care.
Right, thank you, Steve.
Cheers.
You now.
Bye-bye. Now, I have another caller on here, and it's Cameron. I hope Cameron can hear me this week. Hi, Cameron.
Hi, Steve. Can you hear me?
Hey, at last. I'm so happy that you got through. Great. So welcome to the show. And do you want to talk about Lisa Marie's memoir, or do you want to talk about what we were talking about last week, that If I Can Dream, why he didn't record it again or sing it again?
No, I tend to agree with what we spoke about last week with regards to the political statement with regard to that song, Steve. I think anything after the 68 special would have been, he might have stepped on a few people's toes and probably most of all the Colonel's, because he wasn't too privy for the song to begin with. But I think he took the stance that he used the opportunity when he had the opportunity, and he was able to get his point across in the least offensive way. Because I mean, we all know that he was once posed with a question at the 72 press conference about what he feels in terms of political stances, etc.
Yes,
and he chose the gentleman's way out in answering that question, which I think was very clever. In which he correctly stated that he felt he was just an entertainer and he had no right to impose his opinion or his view of anybody else's stance onto someone else with regards to that kind of thing.
Now, it's a pity that people in the limelight these days don't have as much sort of candidacy. They let us know who they've nailed their colours to the mast quite firmly, don't they? They always let us know. Elvis was very, very cagey when it came to that, and I think quite rightly that he sort of took that stance. He says, "I'm just an entertainer, and I'd rather not say." What a perfect thing to say, really.
Yeah, it's a different thing. It's not always giving an answer is not always the correct thing to do. Sometimes stepping back and holding your opinion for oneself is probably the better option.
Yeah.
But in terms of Lisa Marie's book, I think.
Oh yes.
I'm very grateful that she actually put that into the pipeline when she did, because I think it was, well, for me anyway, I think it's something that's been long overdue. Because I think, unfortunately, with having a mother work with her so closely with regard to upholding her father's legacy and Graceland, etc., she wasn't always granted the opportunity to be free, fair, and honest with regard to her opinion on things and how she grew up, etc. So I think from that perspective, she created a stage for herself to speak from her mind and her perspective, and I think it's going to be a very interesting read. It's just sad that she's not going to be around to be able to
sort of publicize it and give responses to any queries that people might have. I mean, do you think, I asked Brent as well, do you think that the whole complexion of the book might be changed a little bit now because Riley is finishing it off and she will have the final say in what goes in and what doesn't go in?
Steve, I tend to agree with Brent on that part of the discussion. I think the powers that be are possibly going to try and sway that book in that kind of direction. But I don't think Riley will allow that. I think Riley is going to try and stay true to her mother's intention to begin with. Because, as Brent correctly stated, Riley is one generation removed, which in many senses is a little bit sad. But I think on the other hand as well, it gives her a fresh perspective because she doesn't have an image or a reputation to uphold. She wasn't unfairly born into the situation where Lisa was. She, from a young age, was thrust into the limelight, and she was expected to live in a certain way and to act in a certain way. Yeah. And I mean, we were discussing it last week after the show as well. We said in quite some detail, actually, that, I mentioned to the guys that if you take Lisa's musical career, for example, in the beginning, it must have been extremely difficult for her to build a fan base because everybody expected her to kind of be a carbon copy of her father, which luckily, I think, towards the end of her career changed, and the fan base that she did build up were fans that were there truly because of her music style and her music talent, not because she was only
Elvis's daughter. Yeah. I mean, I hope that she sort of gets across to us what it was like living in his shadow, because he did cast an enormous shadow, didn't he?
Yes. That must have been something that must have been something very difficult for her to do. But hopefully, as I said, I hope that Riley stays true to her mother's vision of the book.
I do as well.
And
Yeah.
doesn't allow the powers that be. We all know who those powers are. That she doesn't allow those powers that be to sway the book and to turn it into something sensational, or to create a platform to highlight Elvis's shortcomings. But hopefully, it will be a platform where we can gain a new understanding and a new perspective in terms of who Elvis was as a human being, and also as an average everyday person, and as a father.
Okay. Well, we won't have to wait long anyway. I know we'll be counting near enough the hours and days as it gets closer to release. I'm certainly looking forward to it. Thanks very much for your call, Cameron. I'm glad you got through this week, and it was a pleasure speaking to you.
Always a pleasure, Stephen.
Okay.
Echo Brent's sentiments, and
thank you.
Thanks so much for giving us the platform and making this a great place to be. It's really an enjoyable ride.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Have a great
all the best.
Enjoy the rest of your show. We'll be out there listening to you.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, that was Cameron. And I have another caller on now. I hope they can hear me loud and clear. I'm going to say hello, Dubstel. How are you?
Hey, Steve.
I think, is it the first time you've been on the show? I think, Dubstel, is it?
No. It's Danny here.
Ah, right.
Red Robinson's nephew.
I thought I recognized that voice, but I didn't recognize the name Dubstel.
No, when I signed up for it, I didn't know what else to put. Usually that's what I put in for my my nickname. So it's
a pleasure to have you on the show, Danny. It really is.
Yes. I missed you guys. I've been very, very busy. I just want to let you guys know I just got back from Graceland yesterday.
Right.
So I was there again, and just absolutely gorgeous. Just I've been there 3 times now, and it just every time I go, it's just you learn and you see different stuff you've never seen before.
I'd say the weather wasn't too good though. Was it cold?
No, it wasn't. It was cold. It was a little bit snowy and cold there. So
Elvis would have loved it. Elvis loved the snow, didn't he? I think.
Oh yes, he did. Yes, he did. You ever see that video of his mother taking the snowball off his car?
Yeah.
And throwing it at
Yeah. Now, I think that was Elvis filming that, but there has been more. There has been somebody recently saying no, Elvis would have been away then when the snow fell in early 1958. He would have been in Hollywood, but I don't think he left for King Creole until the middle of January. So I still believe he was probably filming all that.
Exactly.
So
lots to talk about with you.
Yeah.
For sure. Last week's show was wonderful. I heard it a little bit while I was away, and I really was great to hear your review on Priscilla the movie.
Oh yeah,
which I totally agreed with you. I just think it just wasn't put together well. The intentions were there. I think majority of the story was mostly true, but the way they put it together looked kind of rushed.
Yeah, especially the end.
Completely.
The end. It just seemed to end all of a sudden. Just her going up to the suite, and then her driving off and going through the gates, and then that was it. It was all over in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird. But Lisa Marie's book, it is about time. It really is. It's going to be very interesting to hear what it was like for her as a little girl. Because I think she's even said in her interview, she can remember when she's back to like 4 or 5 years old of, how much she used to get away with at Graceland and when she was with her dad and her mom and dad split up and stuff like that. Things like that. She kept saying before that, I don't know if she purposely would do it, but if she didn't like somebody, she asked her dad to fire them. Stuff like that.
And whatever Lisa said, it was done, I'm sure.
I think so. I think she's spoiled. She's a spoiled little girl, is what she was at Elvis's presence anyways. But with her daughter, Riley, I think she's an absolute fabulous woman.
Right.
She did such an unbelievable job on that Christmas special that she really gave everybody, such a good glimpse of Elvis, what it was like around there at Christmas time. And I think she's going to be totally truthful. I don't think there's going to be ever any sugarcoating on this book at all.
Okay, so if you were voting on the poll, you would say the whole truth then, yeah?
The whole truth, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's going to be the whole truth. I really do. And Lisa Marie herself, from what we all know about her and seen in interviews and everything about her, I think she's a straight up shooter. I just don't think she cover coded anything. I know like the last caller was saying, some of the publicists, you're going to want it a different way or this type of thing. But I think Riley's going to be true to her mom and just say, yeah, we want it done this way.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on it.
Great. Okay, so you would have voted the whole truth, yeah?
I voted the whole truth on it, yeah. I really do.
As I said earlier on, I have never been so excited for an Elvis book in such a long, long time as I am with this one.
Yes, because I remember when he died, and I remember walking around the malls with my mom and how many crap Elvis books there was out there. Yeah. How many unsavoring lies there was about him every single place. My mom wouldn't even buy a book. Because there was so much untruth about him until she picked out, like you, she wanted to pick out the good ones. So, but it's I think it's going to be great, and I'm definitely going to get it myself. And you never know, we might see a big movie come out. We
could see a movie out of it, yes. Because normally, if a book is successful, they'll normally make it into a movie. So that could be down the line as well. All right, Danny.
That could be, and that. Okay.
That's great. Thanks so much for calling in. And please call in again, because it's always great to talk to you.
Okay. Thank you.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Right. We move on. And who do we have next? Oh, yes. My friend. Hi, Dylan.
Hello, sir.
Thank you for waiting patiently.
It's all right.
How are you doing?
Good. I just want to say I hope everyone is doing well and all that good stuff.
Of course, yeah.
And, yeah. But yeah, I'm very excited about this book.
Yeah, as I said, I keep repeating myself. I haven't been as excited for an Elvis book in such a long, long time. I'll have to look back and think when was the last time I was this excited about an Elvis book, actually.
Probably before my lifetime.
Yes, could be.
But yeah, now I'm biased because I'm a Riley lover, and for me, she can't put a foot wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I know she'll have done a good job. And I think she'll realise by now that having a biographer isn't always the way to go. Because biographers often twist words.
Yeah, they do.
And so with Riley on board, she won't have twisted her mum's words. She might have just tweaked them so they're kind of coherently in a book. Because cause like when you're talking, like you just tend to like get it all out, and it doesn't always look good on the page. So maybe that way they could have adjusted it so it looks good on the page. But the words themselves, they can't have changed.
But do you think that the whole structure of the book might be changed slightly now because it's Riley finishing off and not Lisa? And do you think that maybe Lisa was more sort of to the point and didn't sort of sugarcoat things, whereas Riley might sugarcoat a few things?
I mean, she might sugarcoat a few things, but that just might be that protectiveness. It's like when you've lost someone, like especially a parent, you do want to protect them at all costs.
Yeah.
Even if that does mean, sugarcoating a few things.
So you think we're going to get the whole truth, yeah?
I voted, I don't know.
Oh, you voted, I don't know at the moment. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, no, I don't know. Wait and see.
So, Mark, what do you want to say?
Just to say, I don't know. My question wasn't.
Right. If you're voting on the poll, it's I don't know. Just wait and see. Yeah.
Yeah, just wait and see. I'm not 100%. We will get the whole truth. I'm not. I'm a bit like that. I think there'll be some things that we won't. It'd be interesting to see what she says about her mom, wouldn't it, Priscilla?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because obviously Priscilla's still around, and it's like, and Lisa's gone now, and everything else. But it'd be interesting to see about that part. Will we get the whole truth there? We don't know, but it's sad that this has happened as well, isn't it? In a way, but
yeah. Now you see, I think that maybe I don't mean that Riley's a nicer person than Lisa, but I think Riley might sugarcoat things where Lisa would just shoot straight from the hip. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I think so. I think if Lisa was still around and the book was going to be finished, I think we'd get a little bit more in depth from Lisa herself. About things. And of course, her relationships with Michael Jackson and all that, which I think was...
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. I think an interview not long ago that Priscilla did with Piers Morgan explained that it was bizarre and she didn't get him at all. And I think she really told Lisa to get rid of him. And Lisa kind of turned around and said, well, I don't see him anyway. He's never here.
Do you know, she might even tell us in the book what she thought her father would have thought of her marriage to Michael Jackson. That'll be interesting, won't it?
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting. Yeah, that's it. And Nicolas Cage, because Nicolas Cage was short and sweet.
It was short and sweet, yeah.
It's, I think, well, Nicolas Cage married her because he was a massive Elvis fan.
Yeah,
he was possessed by Elvis. And I think Michael Jackson was the same, because Priscilla said that Jackson was really always asking Lisa about her dad and about the music. And I think, like, I don't know, he really wanted a part of the Graceland estate, I think. And I think she was glad to see the back of him, So, and I think the Jacko thing myself was all about, because at that time he was in trouble. And he needed a way out, and I think Lisa was the way out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, and I think Priscilla, if she put her hand on her heart and would tell the truth, that would be the truth, I think.
Yeah.
So it helped him along the way a little bit until the demise of him, and he'll never be in the same light as Elvis anyway. But yeah, it'd be great to get the book. It's exciting times with the book and the hologram, isn't it? So
hologram, and as I say, we could get a movie out of the book as well. So it's still exciting times in the Elvis world. And then of course we got the footage that Baz is working on as well. So we've just got so much.
I saw a little clip of that about him again. A little slight interview. And he was saying, like, it's both going to come. I'm going to get this sorted, and I'm going to get the Elvis on tour footage and the other one together. And I will, but it won't be yet. We might be 2 or 3 years down the line. Right. Get another version of the film out of Elvis, which would be great. Won't it?
Probably that 4-hour cut that he was talking about.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Yeah. So exciting times.
Yeah,
have you been to the Have you been to the exhibition at all in London?
Yeah.
Or were you planning to go?
Yeah, I went in November, yeah.
Oh, you went in November,
I actually did a program on it as well, actually, and I was
I
very...
must have missed that one.
Oh, you're a very, very busy fella, but yeah. It was great. It really was great.
It's great, yeah. They've extended it to April, so I'm hoping I can go. Yeah, I'm hoping I can go sometime March or anyway again. So,
I'd highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
Oh, will do, yeah, it'd be great.
All right,
okay, Steve, great call.
Yeah, great call. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
all right,
bye-bye.
So let's have a look at the poll. What do you expect to get from the Lisa Marie memoir? The whole truth, a watered down truth, or a don't know? Well, there's a lot of fence sitting. I don't mind, because it is don't know, have to wait and see, 47%, the whole truth, 32%, a watered down version of the truth, only 20%. Thank you very, very, very much for all your votes on that. Thanks once again for joining me on Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel. I'd like to extend an invite to everybody listening to join me on Sunday's live shows on the YouTube channel and to become a member of the Discord server. We have a lot of fun on there. I'd love to hear from you during the call-in section when we discuss all things Elvis. That's all for this week. I hope you can join me next time for another podcast from Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel.